A win last night, that means the Cardinals are the 2013 National League Central Division champions. And since 2000, this club has owned the NL Central. How did it all unfold? Let's take you back to last night. Lance Lynn, 9 strikeouts en route to the victory. The Cardinals had offense with solo shots from David Freese. Later in the game, it was Matt Holliday sending one into the bullpen in left. The final out recorded by Trevor Rosenthal. After this out, time to celebrate, and celebrate they did. This afternoon, it's game number 2 from Busch Stadium. The St. Louis Cardinals playing host to the Chicago Cubs. And welcome to Cardinals baseball. That's Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and the Cardinals have wrapped up the Central Division. And now, Al, you think about home field advantage.
Well, you'd like to go out there and keep on pushing. No need to really rest guys, because the Cardinals will not play until Thursday night. Now, Beltran does have a little bugaboo in his wrist, so you can spell him a little bit, but everyone else is right there to push to win home field advantage.
Well, it's a Saturday afternoon, and this guy on Saturdays has been dominant at home. That is Adam Wainwright. Closer look at Waino when we come back. This season, 260 or 236 and a third innings this year in 2013, and he's among the league leaders the last 5 seasons, and the Cardinals are looking for him to be the ace again today.
And Adam Wainwright with a win here today will be his 19th. That would be tops in the National League. He already leads in innings pitched, complete games, shutouts. He's tied there. So just really a solid season for him. And by pitching today, he will be on normal rest for Thursday when the Cardinals have their first game in the playoffs.
And that's the key. Edwin Jackson getting the call today, the former Cardinal. for the Chicago Cubs. Wayne 0 for St. Louis. Big crowd on hand this Saturday afternoon. Cardinals draft. Miller, Kelly, Carpenter, Rosenthal, Adams, all have played major roles on this 2013 team. So really, Rick, one of the themes of this season for the Cardinals, youth has been served.
In a normal draft, you hope to have one, maybe two players make it big to help your major league team. The Cardinals have 5 of them, each one of them significant contributors this year.
Coming up, we'll take a look at the race to the finish in the NL Central Division. The Cards and Cubs coming up this afternoon. The NL Central turned into a 3-team sprint to the finish. The Cardinals win it. You see the Days in first place, 128 for St. Louis. The biggest lead was 4. The farthest they were behind was 4. And the lead today, Rick Horton, is at 3.
Well, I think the experts are a bit surprised that the best baseball this year has been played in the middle of our country in the Central Division in the National League. The Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Cincinnati Reds have been close all season long, and you'd expect to see some very good games going forward here in late September and early October.
It's a 3-man booth on this Saturday afternoon. We'll come with your first pitch. Up next, it's the Cards and the Cubs on Fox Sports Midwest. Official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. See your Mid-America Chevy dealer or log on to stlchevy.com. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake, just no equal. The Mad Hungarian Al Rabaski. Rick Horton, Dan McLaughlin with you. The Hall of Fame statues just outside Busch Stadium. Let's turn to our Toyota keys to the game with Al.
Well, you want to play hard, and usually when you play hard, your body will be prepared and you don't get hurt. But this is the last thing anybody wants to see anybody get hurt this late in the season. And yes, there's 2 games here. They're still very, very important because home field advantage throughout the playoffs until we get to the World Series is at stake for the Cardinals. They trail at Atlanta by 1 in that category because we lost the head-to-head matchup.
So Mike Matheny leading his club to the division championship, first time since 2009. The Cardinals 7 titles since 2000. And their 10th appearance in the postseason as well. Just an amazing run the Cardinals have made. The hunt for Red October. The Cardinals postseason all-time 27 playoff appearances. You see the postseason record, their series record, the 18 National League pennants. The Cardinals going for number 12 here in 2013. And a new sign here at the ballpark. Great to see that. Up on the wall in right center near the Cardinal bullpen. NL Central Division champions of 2013, the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals with 95 wins to win this division.
And you like the big one right above it on the ribbon board, right above that section of seats where it's outlined and beautiful for the Major League insignia, the Cardinal logo with the 2013 National League Central Division champions. And who knows, will it be the 12th World Championship?
We had the annual Buddy Walk today for the Down Syndrome Association of St. Louis. And many of those kids are waiting for the Cardinals to take the field. And our friend Tony West out there manning that camera, live look out at center as we await John Jay to take his position.
Boy, John Jay's had another very, very good year. Won't be a 300 hitter this year, but his offensive numbers are vastly improved. And remember, he had the 245 game errorless streak earlier this year.
It's awesome to see right there. Annual Buddy Walk, Down Syndrome Association of St. Louis.
I'll tell you what, Dan, being involved with some of those activities with Down syndrome and through Albert Pujols' foundation, these kids are, man, they've got personality plus. They're just amazing. Doesn't matter if you're a ball player or anybody, but anybody who shows a little kindness to them and just pays a little attention to them, they get richly rewarded.
Sweet human beings. So let's take a look at this Chicago lineup. Starlin Castro, Junior Lake is back in there here for game number 2. Then Anthony Rizzo, Diner Navarro, Nate Shearholtz, Donnie Murphy, Ryan Bogusevic, Darwin Barney, and Edwin Jackson. Cardinals defense around the horn brought to you by Dobbs Tire Auto Centers. Holiday, Jay, and Chambers. As Al mentioned, a sore wrist for Beltran. Not serious, but not in the lineup. Descalso is at third today. Then Cosman short. Carpenter and Adams on the right side. Yachty behind the plate. And Adam Wainwright looking for win number 19 here this afternoon. He comes in at 18-9. Our Kia starter with an ERA that is slightly above 3.
But you see that he can get an under 3. He can tie for the National League lead with his 19th win. He's already set the mark for innings pitch. Kershaw, who's one of the favorites for the Cy Young, along with Wainwright, a third of an inning less, and his season came to an end last night. So Adam will win the innings pitched.
Starlin Castro had 3 hits last night. Looks at a strike with the cutter. He's hitting .246. 10 home runs and driven in 44. Breaking ball lifted into right center field. On the move and making the play, tracking it down, Adrian Chambers. Nice play by Chambers as he did his best Bo Jackson impersonation.
Plays with a little flair, and he's trying to play for that spot on the postseason roster. Chambers has been on there the last couple of years, and he might be on there again because of his speed. Tracks this one down. Has a tire service. Does he climb the wall like Bo?
Not quite.
Not quite. I think he might come up short too.
Not many could climb the wall like Bo.
Guys in the clubhouse told me that they saw Bo Jackson like run in the clubhouse, sprint, and go to the end of a wall and climb up it and do a flip.
That's unbelievable. One of the great athletes that's ever played this game. Junior Lake at the plate, 0-2 the count. And then we'll see Anthony Rizzo. Junior Lake arrived on the scene when Alfonso Soriano was traded to the Yankees. How about Soriano's numbers? Wearing the pinstripes, he's had a tremendous finish to his campaign, but a long extended look here at Junior Lake, and got off on a great start, and since that time has really tailed off, hitting .289 this year.
Every guy made a little folk hero on first pitch. You saw he hit a double. Second pitch, when he was at second base, he stole third, but got a little speed, got a little pop in his bat, but still trying to figure out if he could play at this level.
Here's a 1-2 from Adam Wainwright. Taken low. Remember, the start time moved up to 3:15 with the bad weather coming in and already clouds overhead. We understand it's raining in different parts around the state and headed to St. Louis. 2-2 the count on Lake. Swing early, swing often. Curveball and a strikeout for Waino.
Waino also set a new career high in strikeouts this year, so everyone he gets, he'll add to it. Nice to see that curveball that sharp this early.
Here is Anthony Rizzo. '63 extra base hits this year. That's the most for a Cubs left-handed hitter since Corey Patterson had 63 in 2004.
I think they're asking Mr. Rizzo to do a little bit more than what Corey Patterson was able to do for the Cubs.
Locked him up, long-term deal. 1-1 pitch. The changeup taken low. Saw the play by Chambers in right. The Cardinals defense has been very good this year. 75 errors total. That's just 2 below the franchise record of 77. So they could set that record with a team that doesn't have great range, but yet balls that are hit at them, they're making the plays.
And they can also do the fielding percentage. Have the best this 2013. But you're absolutely right. We wouldn't say this is an exceptionally good defensive team, but they make all the routine plays, and that's good enough.
A 3-1 pitch, and Rizzo was up there hacking and fouls it back. You pull for a guy like Anthony Rizzo. He was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. He has beat cancer. He raises a lot of money and awareness for cancer, and now trying to live out his dream here in the major leagues. 3-2 pitch. Curveball is ripped just foul. I know the Cardinals have won an awful lot, but you never get sick of seeing the scene that we saw last night.
It is very, very special, and that's one of the things. Some of these Cardinals had 3 consecutive years that the Cardinals have gone into postseason.
On the outside corner and a strikeout, the second of the afternoon for Adam Wainwright. Carpenter, 1 hit shy of 200. Then John Jay and Matt Holliday. Adams, Molina, Descalso, Cosma, Chambers, and Wainwright. Cubs defense brought to you by Dobbs with Lake, Bogusevic, Shearholtz in the outfield. Murphy and Castro on the left side. Barney and Rizzo on the right side. Navarro is behind the plate. That's brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. And Edwin Jackson is getting the call today for Chicago. That's not the guy you want if you have a rain delay looming.
No, you don't.
As a human rain delay.
Yeah, he's a very, very slow, deliberate worker, and he'll be around with the Cubs. He's been kind of a nomad. He's been with, what, 10 different or 8 different teams in parts of the last 10 seasons, but he signed a 4-year deal with the Cubs, and this is the first year. the first year for a while that he hasn't gotten at least 10 wins.
So here is Carpenter, one shy of 200 hits. Ground ball to the right side. He won't get it here. Rizzo takes it himself. One pitch, one away.
Jackson, last 5 years, has won at least 10 ball games. With only 8 here, he won't reach that in 2013.
John Jay, 273 average with 7 home runs and 66 RBIs. 2 for 4 last night. How about those RBIs? 66, and he's been all over the place in this lineup.
And that's what I think, that he's really had a very sound offensive year. Not hitting as high for average, but a lot more production. Home runs and RBIs are up.
A 1 pitch by Jackson. Took some off it, 0-2. Edwin Jackson, originally drafted as an outfielder by the Dodgers. Great live arm. And as Al told you, he's bounced all over the place. White Sox, St. Louis, Detroit, Tampa Bay. 0-2, lifted into center. And the first base hit for either side off the bat of John Jay.
Jackson's got a couple no-hitters to his name, but not today. Good sinking action and just a very defensive swing, just trying to make contact, and it paid off for John Jay.
It's now a 13-game hitting streak for John Jay.
It's a career high, and good to see that.
The guys that have really carried this offense here in the final month are the Mats. Matt Carpenter, Matt Holliday, and the man on deck, Matt Adams, all hitting above 300 here in September. And the only 3 of the position players to do so, to hit above 300 here in the month of September.
Love to take an early lead.
Holliday at 299. He'd love to get to 300. Here's a 1-0. Holliday hits it out to right center field. This ball is line shot. Holliday pumps his fist. He's up to 300. 22 home runs. 2-0 here in the first.
Got a ways to go, but he's now at 94 RBIs. Maybe he can get to the century mark. A quick lead, and that's what we really asked for. When you're playing a club like the Cubs, they're really struggling to finish off this season. And a middle shot, and he hits it out to right center. That's what you need. Get on top of a club like the Cubs and see if they'll just say, okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
Here is Matt Adams. I've said it many times, you don't see the high towering shots from Matt Holliday very often. But boy, you see those line drives that turn into home runs, and that was a perfect example of one.
He's a line drive hitter who also hits it for a high average and hits the ball so hard that a certain percentage will go out.
One and two the count on Matt Adams. And a broken bat as he pulled it foul. Great to see in that celebration last night. By the way, Jim Hayes did a terrific job. But the young players a chance to celebrate for the first time, and for the coaches a chance to let their guard down and celebrate. Chris Maloney was popping the champagne, and the coaching staff was in the middle of things of what was a subdued celebration last night.
Yeah, I think they kept things in perspective. They know they've got a lot more and a few more celebrations to go. But and you think about it, when you're playing the Cubs, you can't help but think of it like an Ernie Banks, who never, a Hall of Famer, never got a chance to celebrate like that.
Ron Santo, Ryan Sandberg, so many of the greats. The list goes on, and they're in the midst of rebuilding again. First strikeout for Edwin Jackson, and here is Yadier Molina, who's been so good against Chicago this year. Got the Cardinals on the board last night with an RBI double that scored 2. You see the National League ranks 3rd in average, 5th in on-base percentage, slugging at .771.
Said he got things started last night for the Cardinals. And he's also 10 for 21 with a double and 3 home runs against Jackson.
Yeah, this has been his biggest nemesis in this lineup. The biggest concern for Edwin Jackson has been Yadier Molina.
And we'll see if he just pitches around him. With 2 outs, bases empty, you don't have to necessarily come into it.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. I would think any minute they're going to turn on the lights. It's darkened up here at Busch Stadium. Two balls and no strikes on Yadi. Up the middle and a base hit.
Right through the legs of Edwin Jackson. It's funny how some guys you just kind of, I won't say you own them, but you just feel so comfortable. The ball looks like a beach ball, and there you see right through the legs. Jackson's a good athlete too, and couldn't react to that one.
Here's Descalso getting the start at 3rd today. David Freese coming off the bench. Daniel overall hitting .236. And the first pitch is taken low. Edwin Jackson, you would think, would be the perfect signing for Chicago. Doesn't get hurt. Logs a lot of innings on a team that's not doing much. Out to center and off the glove of the center fielder. That's Bogusevic, who had issues at left field last night.
It's funny, Dan, when we were talking about, I was talking with Pat Hughes last night about Bogusevic, and I said, well, he's got that tremendous arm. Started as a pitcher, and he kind of said, well, he has got a good one. But remember last year when we saw him with Houston, he threw out several guys at the plate and around the bases with that strong throwing arm, but apparently they haven't seen it much in Chicago.
He's lucky that didn't get by him.
Yeah, very lucky.
So here is Cosma. The Cardinals runners in scoring position. It's the highest of any team in 40 years. The start of play today, the team is hitting .330.
And that's also one of the things Cosma's been able to do.
Next closest team is Detroit, and the Cardinals will set the all-time record after tomorrow is through with runners in scoring position, and that's what Pete's done. He's at .321, and again the team at .330. 0-1 pitch. So while many areas of the game this season have gotten awfully tough at this level for Cosma, that is a bright spot. .321. A lot of credit goes to John Mabry.
Also a .305 hitter in September, so you just have to convince Cosma that every month is September.
Here's a 1-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The right fielder for the Cubs, very shallow. That's Nate Schierholtz. That's as shallow as any right fielder has played against Cosma. 1-2 pitch. Bouncer hit to short. Backhanded by Castro. Matt Holliday gets the Cardinals on the board with a 2-run shot. He's now hitting .300. Number 22, RBIs 93 and 94. Redbirds on a Saturday afternoon lead it by 2. Off game, so don't miss a chance to cheer on the Redbirds. Get your wild card and National League Division Series tickets now. Great seats remain at Cardinals.com. There's a look at Chris Carpenter, who was part of that celebration last night. Who knows? Maybe one of his final celebrations in what has been a remarkable career. And in talking with Chris, he's got an event. He's going to call St. Louis home for a while at least, if not for the long term. But he has an event to benefit the Judavine Center for Autism. That's November 3rd, and he wanted me to get the word out because that will sell out. He and his wife Allison put that on, and it's a popular event because many of the players come back in town. Mike Matheny in town, he'll be there. Good breaking ball to Navarro. And to sign up for this, it's carpenterevent@judavine.org. Carpenterevent@judavine.org. And in visiting with Chris, I know this is something very important to him. And a check swing, and he went strikeout. It's a dinner at Fleming's in Frontenac, and again, that's November 3rd, a Sunday night. Falling into place, the Cardinals' starting rotation in September. Boy, any way you want to look at the game, Al, if you can pitch, you can win. That's what the Cardinals have done.
And it's usually dictated by the starting pitching. And they're first with that 17-8 record in September.
The two youngsters there, and Shelby Miller there on the left, and Joe Kelly. Where would this team be without what he's done in the second half?
And Joe Kelly will be backing up Westbrook tomorrow. Jake Westbrook will get the start. Joe Kelly was scheduled starter, but Mike Matheny wanted to pay tribute to one of his veteran pitchers. Been a while since we've seen Westbrook, so it'll probably be a very short leash.
There's a broken bat, slowly hit to short. Nate Shearholtz retired. 2 away. 5 up, 5 down for Wainwright, and he's struck out 3. Boy, he looks good today, doesn't he?
Sure does. And how about this, Dan? It's kind of unusual, but the Cardinals this year will end up having a winning record on every day of the week. Now, they got stats for everything, don't they?
That is something. I don't think I've ever heard that stat. Here's Donnie Murphy, the third baseman.
Tuesdays have been the best day of the week for the Cardinals. They're 17-8.
Popped up to the right side. Is it playable? It is. Adams, foul territory. 3 up, 3 down here at the top of the second for Waino. logo on the wall earlier today. The 2013 Central Division champion St. Louis Cardinals. The fans have once again been a big part of it. Cardinals will finish second best in all of Major League Baseball, just behind the Dodgers in terms of total attendance, close to 3.4 million. And they have averaged over 42,000 a game. Here's Adrian Chambers.
Talking about the St. Louis metropolitan area versus the Los Angeles metropolitan. They would have to draw over 13 million fans to be the same as the Cardinals drawing 3.4 with the metropolitan area.
Yeah, the Cardinals are in the bottom 10 in terms of TV households, and they do take into the surrounding areas, but the Metro St. Louis area, as far as market size, it's TV households and some of the other variables that they'll throw in, but they're in the bottom 10 of Major League Baseball, and yet every year finishing in the top 5 of attendance and average attendance. 0-2 pitch.
And we want to thank all of our viewers.
Second in television ratings of all Major League Baseball. So our thanks to our viewers night in and night out checking us out here on Fox Sports Midwest. Here's a 1-2. Chambers lifts it into right, and that drops in for a base hit.
Chambers was another guy that hits well in September.
Mentioned the 3 Mats, the only 3 position players hitting above 300 in the month of September. Adam Wainwright also hitting above 300 here in the final month.
Got his average back over 200, and as for a pitcher, that's you swing the bat well. Pitcher threw over. Jackson throwing over to C. Let the bench read the intentions of Adam Wainwright and immediately showed bunt.
There goes Chambers. Missed bunt. Throw to second and out. Chambers caught stealing.
Pretty good jump right there. Jackson not the fastest to release, and with the throw in front of the bag, you can see a very good call. Plaza Tire Service with that replay. It's where it went to the advantage of ball being on the first base side.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Later tonight, a key game, the Braves and the Phillies. Mike Minor going for Atlanta. As Waino hits it to third, it's at least knocked down. Throw to first, he's out. Donnie Murphy able to make the play and stay with it.
And Iasonia, our first base umpire, just heard it from the crowd. First of all, you back up on that ball, you're at the mercy of the hop. Knocks it down, stays with it, and throws. Bang bang play right there, and looked like Iasonia got it right.
2 outs, nobody on. Here's Carpenter. Rounded out to first, 0 for 1. Carpenter has said he's used motivation all the way through his young career. Won't be a big leaguer. Here he is. Won't be an everyday player. Now he is. Can't play second base. One of the best. Barney. Leadoff hit, a race with a caught stealing. Bueno back to work in the third. From Fredberg Field, we tell you that Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Schnucks, neighborhood hometown grocer. Cardinals, Fox Sports, and the state of Missouri teaming up to help you stop smoking. For more information, call the Quit line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW. And buy 5-Hour Energy Shots. Three-man booth, we say goodbye to Al, hello to Rick, and then we'll all be together for the 5th inning.
You bet.
You don't want to miss that. So, Rick, you've been watching this team now all season long. There's nothing like the celebration.
Oh, it's been so much fun, and the celebration, we don't get tired of those here in St. Louis, do we? And we've had so many years of it, and I think it's interesting that everybody's remarked that it was pretty subdued generally, in almost the sense that there's more ahead.
What do you think? How many?
Well, as many as possible. How's that for an answer?
Don't go out on a limb.
Well, how many could you have? I guess 1, 2, 3 more.
And there's the first base hit off the bat of Bogusevic. Look what happens. You show up, no hitters, broken up.
I'll take the blame.
Darwin Barney, second baseman for Chicago. The lights now on here at Busch Stadium, and let's hope we get through 5 innings. And it looks like it's getting ready to pour.
Flags have started blowing a little more briskly the last half inning or so, and then I think you're right, Dan, it's gotten darker just in general. It just kind of has that feel here that something's coming.
Wainwright has been very good. Started this ball game 6 up, 6 down with 3 strikeouts. Darwin Barney hitting .209.
Barney's a guy he's had trouble with. Barney's hit him well, .333, including a home run against Wainwright.
The final play made last night, really overlooked in the pomp and circumstance of the situation, but I'll tell you what, that was not an easy play by Matt Carpenter.
Agreed.
He's been so good this year at second base.
Well, you make a play like that, and then you do move on to kind of the thrill and the joy and the year and the teammates celebrating and the champagne, and probably nobody even had a chance to stop and say, oh, by the way, that was a nice play you made there.
Well done. 2-1 pitch, lifted out to left as Holiday makes the catch and throws a strike back into the infield. Well, it's good to see that the players really took it easy on Jim Hayes. I mean, they didn't really go after him, let him do his job and interview the players. No big deal.
Well, I asked Jim whether he thought this was a sign of disdain or love, and he wasn't sure. But
a little bit of both,
but
maybe.
I kind of think it's love. I know these guys really appreciate Jim. In fact, they had very kind words for him. You know, all of the time that he spends with them throughout the year in the clubhouse and in the dugout, and they really enjoy being around Jim. There's no question about that.
Here's Edwin Jackson in a bunting situation. We also had the greatest postseason moment. Great job done by Brad Straubinger in putting together a feature that relived Game 6 of the 2011 World Series. Every time I watch that, and I've seen it a handful of times, I get goosebumps. Brad went down to spring training and had a chance to visit with many of the players prior to last year about that. As the bunt is down, Molina makes the play, and Edwin Jackson was a part of that.
He was. Kyle Loesch pinch hitting for him in Game 6. And had Descalzo and John Jay not gotten base hits in that inning, Edwin Jackson could have been making the last out of the World Series.
That's right. Well, let's bring in Jim Hayes, who has rebounded from last night. Jim, how was it in there?
I think you guys had it right. A little subdued. In the early going, it didn't feel that way for me as I was flat out ambushed. I believe it was the starting pitchers were lying in wait for me. But I think a lot of the veterans knew there's a lot of baseball yet to be played, and I felt like the younger guys also didn't want to take it too far, maybe not quite knowing their place. But overall, a good celebration, and my retinas are, in fact, burning today, Dan.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how are you feeling? And I'm being sincere about this question. How do your eyes feel?
I'm fine. Jason Isringhausen used to say this quite a bit, and I'm going to steal the phrase from him. Not my first rodeo.
Absolutely. And many more to come. And, Jim, you'll be part of the post-game coverage coming up on Fox Sports Midwest as well. What are we doing for the entirety of the run of the Cardinals?
Well, as soon as the postseason games end, they're not on our air, but flip to Fox Sports Midwest, and we'll have live coverage. We'll have Pat and a variety of analysts, including Ricky Horton and Al Roboski. We'll have player interviews, and it's the best coverage you're going to get anywhere. So watch the game elsewhere, but flip over to Fox Sports Midwest.
All right. Good job last night, Jim. Well done.
Thanks.
Starlet Castro is at the plate, 2 balls and 1 strike. And I mean that sincerely. I've been in those celebrations. I had one of the great moments in broadcast history with Garrett Stevenson. One of my finer moments. I'll tell you what, it is fun, but when you're in the heat of it, as reporters or what we do, it's crazy down there, which makes it fun. But not an easy job, but one that we love to have. Jim did a great job last night. 2-1 pitch.
Is there a reason
Castro to reach and taps it foul?
Is there a reason, Dan, we can't get Jim some goggles for that? I mean, think about that. All the players are prepared for it, and poor Jim gets ambushed. He should be able to have some.
I'll tell you why.
Protection.
He's a gamer.
Oh, okay.
Bottom line, he's a gamer, and he understands that you have to go in there prepared.
Take
with
it for
the hat.
team.
Yep.
Give
Be ready to go.
Give 110%. Take it one day at a time.
That's
Absolutely.
cheating. I'm not going to do that, Dan.
Don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat the viewers either, Jim. Well done.
And journalism is the bottom line. You know that.
Absolutely. Get the story. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball and almost backed in there for a strike.
Classic Wainwright curveball, but hung out there a bit. Still almost got the call. Occasionally, Ueno's breaking pitch will not be released at the proper place and will just kind of hang on the right side of the plate. Sometimes it ends up being a front door call, third strike. He's had that a number of times.
Tell you what, they have gone after Castro by starting pitches out over the middle outer half, and whether it's a cutter, slider, the curveball, many times they get him to chase. Now, occasionally he's going to win, but boy, they've got him to chase a lot this year.
He missed a pitch yesterday that was he missed it by 1.5 feet, and every pitcher in a Cardinal uniform, I guarantee, saw that and put that in their memory bank.
The 3-2. Castro this time going with the pitch, hits it out to right. Earlier in the ball game, a very fine play by Adrian Chambers. That one much easier. Ueno is through 3. Before all playoff home games. Rallies will start 2.5 hours before any home game at Ballpark Village parking lot on Clark Street. So check out Cardinals.com for details. Cardinals this year, 36 combined wins from rookie pitchers. That's the most since 34 back in 1952. And they have used 20 rookie pitchers. That's the most since 1970 when they used 21. And they also lead the league in choreographed moves and arguably the best dancer in baseball, Joe Kelly.
They're all pretty loose, aren't they? You know, you think about these rookie pitchers, and there's 3 of them in that particular shot. You've got Waka and Shelby Miller and Joe Kelly, and all 3 of them have been spectacular. But you wonder whether or not we give enough credit to Adam Wainwright and his veteran influence among these rookies. And not that he's going to take credit for them, but Wainwright is showing them the way, is he not?
Oh, I totally agree. And when he first came up, guys showed him the way. You know, he's told me many times about the impact Jason Isringhausen and Ryan Franklin and some of those guys that were in that bullpen and then eventually moved obviously to the rotation, but what they meant to him when he first came up.
And Chris Carpenter would be a guy that was certainly a good example for him.
Jay with a fly ball to left, and that's caught.
But I've said, Dan, you've heard me say many times that the story of this season is clutch hitting on the offensive side and young pitching being very effective. And the more I've thought about that, and I do think that's the story, but that leaves out Adam Wainwright in a sense, and almost not fair to him, because the performance of these young pitchers, I think, has been influenced by number 50.
The amount of innings he's pitched this year. There is Holiday now can look up, and he's hitting 300. Homered his first time up, a line shot into the seats in right center. Cardinals recently in a vote were given the title of best uniform in all of major professional sports. And they've added this alternate jersey this year. And according to the man that did the piece, would put him over the top. And getting that top ranking was the tradition, clearly, of the birds on the bat, but the alternate jersey. And that bird has been sized up a little bit. A lot of work went into that. The piping on top portion of the uniform and going down the side of the leg, the pant. And that was put together by Bill DeWitt. Did a great job looking at the history of the logo here in St. Louis.
I think what they were working for, they hit on perfectly. Classic look, but also an updated look.
The cream-based color of the uniform. In Bill's office, there's a hanging jersey of Dizzy Dean. And the sleeves would come down to about midway in the forearm. And they're wool.
I was going to ask if it's probably pretty heavy.
Very heavy, and it still has in the office, you can see where the rust was from the belt. There's still a little dirt to it. I mean, it is just awesome.
So as we talk about the play in St. Louis in the middle of August when it's 100 degrees,
man.
Just be thankful we weren't Dizzy Dean.
And playing on AstroTurf, which you did. 3-2.
Well, players did. And pitcher at least got to stand on the dirt part. I mean, honestly, there was a difference standing on the dirt. And pitchers always had the advantage of being able to go up into the clubhouse in between. But the guys, the everyday players and that were able to kind of play 162 and go through all those dog days of August, always impressed by what effort it took for them to get that done.
3-2 is fouled back. Red Shandies was in the booth earlier this year when we talked about the travel by train and leaving from Union Station in St. Louis. Quite a different story.
You'd go on a 2-week road trip often. You said you'd go to the East Coast and you'd be there. You'd have to pack a lunch. Talked about the number of times he had to do his own laundry.
How about that?
On a road trip. I don't think the players are doing that anymore.
I don't think so. The Twitter poll, who is the pitching MVP this season? So to follow up on the conversation we're just having, is it Wainwright? Is it Kelly, Rosenthal, Mujica? Make a case for all four of those guys. The AT&T Twitter poll. Matt Holliday is out of the game. So Shane Robinson takes over. He'll be the pinch runner. I find this interesting. I mean, the Cardinals are playing for something still very important, which is home field advantage. Tomorrow they'll go with Jake Westbrook in the final start of the season. Short leash, but does get that start tomorrow. Here's a 1-0 to Adams. A pickoff and just back in safely.
And to your point, Dan, it almost as if the Cardinals are saying not that they're going to try to lose today or tomorrow, and they're certainly not going to do that, but it doesn't seem like they're going to just kind of go to the wall with everything possible to win the game. Otherwise, you might see Beltran, even if he's got a wrist issue, or you might see Holiday stay in this game, certainly in the third inning of the game. So I think the Cardinals are tipping that, look, we've got home field advantage in round one, and we'll worry about the rest of it later, and we just want to get our guys ready for postseason. And to me, that seems to be trumping the decisions right now over trying to win home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
3-0 on Adams. And Holiday has been nursing that sore back, missed 3 games in a row. Day game after the night game.
Had a number of fans say, would you rather play the Dodgers than the Pirates or the Reds? And it's an interesting question. And if the Pirates or the Reds can beat the Braves, you've got home field advantage anyway in the second round. So maybe that's what they're rooting for.
So back-to-back walks. 2 in the game, and here is Yachty. It was about a month and a half ago we were so concerned about the knee of Yadier Molina, rightfully so, and it's really not been brought up all that much as the innings have piled up for Yadier Molina.
I think Al was right on point when he talked about the last 2 games here. Worst case scenario, the worst thing you could do is have an injury. So that, I think, has to come into play a little bit, even thinking about Holiday. You know, he's had bad back issues. You know, do you really want to stretch him? And you know, is it worth it? And you may have to make that same decision about Yadier Molina tomorrow. What's in the best interest of Yadier Molina and the Cardinals come next Thursday?
A 2-0 lead on a Matt Holliday first inning home run. Runners at first and second. Molina looks at a pitch high. Pittsburgh won their game today over Cincinnati, so you know PNC is going to be rocking that play-in game.
It was rocking last time we were there.
It's great.
You've been surprised that the Pirates were able to go into Cincinnati and
very much so.
Win their first 2? Yeah, me too.
Cincinnati had a sweep over the Dodgers, and right after St. Louis left town, 1 ball, 1 strike, and Yachty shoots it into the gap in right center. 1 run is in. The big man rumbling on in. Yachty delivers with a double that scores 2. 4-0 St. Louis. Molina up to 80 RBIs, his career high. Keeps on going up, up, up. 4-0 Cardinals.
Yachty, as he's done throughout his career, taking the ball the other way. Look at the eyes of Molina following that ball into right center. Career highs this season. Wainwright in his innings and strikeouts, and there's Yadier Molina with those 80 RBIs, 67 runs scored. John Jay also a couple of career highs, and Edward Mujica first shot at being the closer full time with 37 saves. So a number of Cardinals having big years.
Now it's Descalso who singled. The point I was going to make is that Cincinnati really didn't build on that big series with the Dodgers and didn't play all that well.
Cincinnati is an enigma to me.
I totally agree. I cannot figure out why they're, frankly, in the playoff game as far as being in the play-in playoff game. Brandon Phillips had to lead the game against Pittsburgh today. X-rays were negative on a foul ball off his shin, but it was nasty.
Again, injuries can be critical going into the playoffs. The Cardinals are feeling that already with Alan Craig. We reported yesterday that John Mozeliak said that it looked as if Alan Craig's best shot would be late October if the Cardinals could keep playing. And, you know, not the words we were hoping to hear, but he just felt that the risk for Alan Craig would be greater than the potential reward of having him in there.
And that ball scoots away, but staying put, Yadier Molina. Descalso pops it up to the right side. Rizzo calling for it, and he makes the catch. Visit the official online shop of the Cardinals at Cardinals.com for the largest selection of authentic postseason caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get your gear straight from the source, Cardinals.com. Birds on the bat. Many of those jerseys out in full force today. Not just between the white lines, but in the seats. 2 outs, runner at second. Here is Pete Kozma.
Something about the birds on the bat that is kind of ingrained in you in the minor leagues. We talk about the Cardinal way, and it goes beyond just how you play the game. It's part of that tradition, embracing the fact that you are in a line of very successful, high performance, high character people that came before you, and you've got kind of a responsibility. I know Mike Matheny embraces that. I know the Cardinal minor league coaches teach that. There's a way to act, there's a way to be, there's a way to pay homage to Red Shandy, Stan Musial, and Bob Gibson, etc.
Kozma hits it down the left field line, but it hooks foul.
And players really have a sense of that.
They have a sense from day one when Dan Kantrovitz, who runs the draft, and his team selects these players. They go on a private website to see a video that is done with Mike Matheny, John Mozeliak, and some of the greats, in which they talk about this is what is expected of you now that you're part of our organization.
Isn't that awesome?
It is.
I mean, it really is. I don't know that every team does that. I'm sure they don't. And you can pull on a jersey and say, okay, that's the team I play for, and I'm going to go there for 6 months and play for them and then be a free agent and play somewhere else. But there's a sense of putting on a Cardinal uniform that implies a honor and a responsibility that I believe is transmitted pretty well to these players. And I think that's why we get the best of them when we have them in interviews and listen to how they talk about their hometown fans. I think that's part of the deal.
2-2 is a fly ball out to deep left field. Lake won't get it, and it's a ground rule double RBI for Pete Kozma. The lead is now 5 for St. Louis as Yadi scores. Once again, 2 outs, runners in scoring position, 5-0 Cardinals.
Check the location. Right down central, bit of a hanger. You mentioned they've been playing Kozma very shallow. The ball gets over the head of the left fielder, Lake, who runs well. And Cosmo's got a little more pop than people think. He's not really a home run guy, to be sure, although in the minor leagues he was. But not a good afternoon so far for Edwin Jackson.
A 5-run lead for the Cardinals, already 7 base hits. By the way, the Pirates, after the win today, here's the matchups. They'll start Compton tomorrow. Reds will start Reynolds in a game that essentially is meaningless. And then the big game on Tuesday night. What a matchup here. Liriano against Johnny Cueto. That'll be fun to watch.
Oh, you bet. They're going to walk Adrian Chambers with first base open.
Chambers really setting the tone in this game with an outstanding play with his speed on a fly ball in right center. I'm not sure that Beltran gets to that ball, the catch that he made. It was the first hitter of the game, Starlin Castro. So 3 walks in the inning, 3 total in the game, and this one intentional to Chambers on base for the second time to go along with a single. And it's runners at first and second, 2 outs for Adam Wainwright.
And as Al was talking about the playoff roster, you really think about the importance of having speed and defense on that roster as a supplement to your regular 8 guys, because those plays do matter. And if you're going to bring somebody into the 7th, 8th, 9th inning of a game, you want to make sure they're going to be plus defensively and perhaps help you on the base paths if you need a stolen base. And that's obviously not a strong suit for the Cardinals, but it'd be nice to have that weapon on your bench.
Outfield shallow here for Adam Wainwright. Big gap in left center. The first pitch off the glove of the third baseman Murphy. Cosmo will score. They pitch around Adrian Chambers, and Wainwright makes it pay. 6-0 St. Louis.
Everything going the Cardinals' way here this afternoon. They celebrated last night, and they're kind of basking in it today.
Wainwright finishing up as a threat at the plate as they're now out to check on Jackson. This will be a medical visit, so not officially 2 visits with Jackson.
And you're in game number 161. Do you even take a chance?
Yeah, just pull him. No question about it. Well, they did have activity in the bullpen anyway. So the last pitch for Jackson of his season.
A little grimace there on the follow through, but you can't quite tell what that was all about. But again, no sense in pushing it, no sense in hurting him more.
Villanueva will come in when we come back. For the better part of this season. Now their long man and really fills any role needed by Dale Swaim, and he'll come in. It's our Chevy called to the pen. They're going to give him all the time he needs. He had thrown just a couple of pitches in the bullpen, so he'll come in, get loose. We'll come back with more. /spring travel. Barbecues and private parties with the players there. Sign up now.
I think they told Villanueva, just throw until it starts raining. That's a lot of warm-up tosses. But when you have a starter go to the bullpen, that is a bit of an issue.
You know, they had an issue with Kevin Gregg, who was going to lose some closing opportunities down the stretch if those came up, and he was very frustrated. He thought, I'm owed the chance to get as many saves as I can because I've been in this role, and you know, it's a chance to reward me, and
it's 33 of them.
And he was frustrated with that, and that was settled. Villanueva, when they moved him to the bullpen, not a peep. He just said, well, is it what I want to do? No, because he was asked about it. But if this is what I have to do, and the Cubs are asking me to do this, I'll do it.
Well, that's the response you need to get out of players, and should get out of players, because it's not your party. I mean, you're invited to it, and he's a guy that's done a little bit of both before with the Blue Jays and with the Brewers. We've seen him as a starter and a reliever before, and frankly, if you want to have a job in the big leagues, versatility is actually a pretty good asset to have. And I think having that attitude, I love the attitude. Trevor Rosenthal, and Jim talked to him in our pregame show. Jim asked him, do you feel like a veteran now, or do you still, like, with all the success you've had in the postseason last year, and now you're in the closer role? And Trevor said, his response was great to me. He said, well, I feel like I better not say that, because there'll be some guys in this team that would be very mad at me if I said I feel like a veteran. And it just shows the influence.
He's the best,
it shows the influence of the guys like Chris Carpenter, Adam Wainwright, Jake Westbrook.
Well, Carpenter is 0 for 2. Let's see if he can't get hit number 200. He will lead the league in hitting as far as total hits this year. Not in average. But what a season it has been for Matt Carpenter. Sitting on 199. Here's the 0-1.
Dan, I have about 4,000 baseball cards from the late 60s, early 70s, collecting them growing up, and they used to have the batting leaders per year, and they would have 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. And if you were 1, 2, or 3, that was a big deal. You got on that card for the batting leaders for that particular league. Right now, if they still do cards like that, Matt Carpenter would be on it.
Amazing.
3rd in the National League. And that's a big, big honor.
1-1 pitch. 2-1.
By the way, would you like to buy 4,000 baseball cards?
I'm going to tell you a little insight into my life. I have every set of baseball cards dating back, I think, to 1980 or 81. So I'll get the ones prior to that, sure.
Well, I'll fill in your collection. That's good.
I'd like it.
I've got a great card that's a Brooks Robinson rookie card that I had when I was a kid. Problem is I drew a beard on it. So I believe
the value has dropped a little bit.
I believe the card, last time I checked, was worth about $350. Now I think they've come down some, but that's $350 without the beard. With the beard, probably not so much.
Santa used to bring it to me when I was a kid, and he still does.
Very nice.
Santa is the best. Here is a 2-2 pitch. Broken bat, slowly hit, race to the bag, and Rizzo flips to Villanueva as Carpenter goes head first. Don't get hurt, Matt. Trying to get hit number 200. He's 0 for 3 today. Big inning for the Cardinals. They have 8 hits in this game. They played 4. They lead it by 6. Live, and you'll see that after every game. So whether the game is on TBS, Fox, whatever the case may be, afterwards flip over to Fox Sports Midwest and then follow us at foxsportsmidwest.com. Postseason coverage. The American League wild card, it gets interesting now as Texas has posted a victory. They're tied with Tampa Bay. Cleveland playing later, leading by a half game. So still more to go over in the American League. Terry Francona has done a great job with Cleveland getting that club focused down the stretch. They are winning their game 5-1 over the Twins in the 6th. Tampa Bay really faltered down the stretch along with Texas. Texas back-to-back Septembers in which they have collapsed, but still they've got a hope. Lake hits a ground ball, and that is fair. Tough play, and it's made by Descalso.
Nice crowd on hand here again today, and they got to see a nice play by Daniel coming in to his right. Like he wanted that ball to be fair. Give me a chance at it. I can make this play, and he did.
We forget 2011. Descalso a finalist for the Gold Glove at third base.
I would say his best defensive
seems to be that way, right?
Was playing third base, yes. Seems comfortable there.
Yeah. Here is Anthony Rizzo. Was called out on strikes back in the first.
Third baseman has to be quick and has to react. And sometimes we've seen Daniel make errors at short and second where he's trying to be too quick with his hands, almost has to slow him down a little bit. And maybe third base, a reactionary position, makes more sense for him. But it's nice he can do all three.
Little shift on here for Rizzo. Cosma near the bag at second. 2 balls, 1 strike. And Descalso well off the line and playing back at third. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Wainwright has struck out 3, and all 3 came in the first 2 innings.
And how far does he go today? And I know you're going to say, let me ask you, how far is he going to go? Aren't you? You're going to say
I
that.
wasn't going to do that. Not this
weren't.
time. I say he gives you 6. At that point, get him out.
90 to 95 pitches. How's that sound?
Good to me.
It's
He's at 43 right now. Little bit low and a walk.
You know, Dan, there were people that saying, wouldn't you want to rest Wainwright? But I don't think you would want him to go 10 days without pitching. And he's been in a routine of throwing every 5th day, and this is his normal day. And game 1 of the NLDS would be his normal day. So I think the more normal you stay, the better off you are.
Wainwright, his 35th walk, and today being his 34th start. Had a chance to finish even in terms of starts and walks, which is an amazing accomplishment, especially with the amount of innings he has piled up this year. Here is Navarro, switch hitting catcher, and he looks at a pitch low and away. So Pittsburgh has posted a W already. They beat Cincinnati 8-3. Bronson Arroyo took the loss, his final start of the regular season, 14-12, and a free agent to be for the Reds. And the loss by Tampa Bay, looking at the wild card for the American League, they're 2nd in a row, so that ties them with the Rangers for the 2nd AL wild card spot. Indians, as we speak, up by a half game. So the Indians, they hold on today, at least assure themselves a chance to play into the play-in game, depending on how things unfold tomorrow. Defensive swing, and it's 2-2.
It almost sounds funny to say that. They get to play in for the play-in game.
I think it's great. I think what Major League Baseball has done with this was needed at the time. Popularity of football exploding. College football as well. NFL, clearly. And you get this late in the season. Makes you a few extra dollars, too, as these teams have a chance to get their fan base energized in September. Play for something. That's pulled foul.
And as we've noted, not only are teams playing for something, but the teams that are playing you now have something to play for. The teams that are out of it can be spoilers. We've seen the Brewers have to play Atlanta and the Cardinals in the last couple of weeks. That was good for their home attendance. It was good for the energy at Miller Park when they were playing the home games against the Cardinals there. And, you know, if you're the Minnesota Twins right now, you're grateful to have a game that has some significance. Playing Cleveland.
The count runs full on Navarro, with St. Louis leading 6-0 here in the top of the 4th. Astros could be the 3rd Major League team with 110 losses since 1970. They're at 109.
Lost 13 in a row.
And a fly ball that's lifted to left. Backing up Chambers, who started in right, now is in left. Holiday out of the game. Robinson came in for him, and Shane is in right field. Nate Shearholtz grounded out to short. There's 2 outs. Big special happy birthday to Tom Parchomsky. His son works here at the ballpark, been here a number of years. Chops, we like to call him. Never seen him had a bad day. He's always smiling, always happy to help out. And happy birthday to his dad, Tom Parchomsky. You should be one proud papa. You got a good son.
Known him a long time.
I bet. Fly ball lifted into shallow center. Here comes Jay hustling in, and it drops. As Carpenter was going out, I think Jay, if Carpenter would have peeled off, would have made that catch. Looked like at the very end he had to make sure to avoid a collision with Matt, so stopped coming in hard all the way through. Take a look.
Kind of looked like a Ozzie Smith, Kurt Ford moment there for a while, with one coming in, one coming out. Just hope that they don't intersect at the wrong place in the wrong time. One thing's for sure about Carpenter, he's still playing hard. After the celebration yesterday, he's gonna play hard every day. Just that kind of guy. Saw him try to beat out an infield hit. Diving for a baseball.
2 outs, 2 on. The cutter in there for a strike to Murphy. The Cubs get 2 2/3 from Jackson in his start today. Villanueva is in. 6-0 St. Louis. Good breaking ball there from Adam. Report that the Giants have offered Hunter Pence a $90 million extension. He has 11 home runs here in the month of September. Another breaking ball and another strikeout. 4 today for Adam Wainwright.
Ranch, the BLT, the Deluxe, and the Bacon and Cheese. 4 more quarter pounders to love only at McDonald's. Another nice crowd here at Busch Stadium. Game 161. Yadier Molina growth poster today. That young man will have that on his bedroom door for years and years to come. Right
well,
now
it's either a poster
right
or a bazooka.
Exactly.
Take your choice. Now it's a hammer. Cardinals have Jay Holiday, his spot, now occupied by Robinson and Matt Adams. 6-0 Cardinals. 2 runs in the first and 4 in the third.
I got a wish list today. Want to hear it?
Get after it.
I'd like to see Matt Carpenter get his 200th hit. And I'd like to see Edward Mojica throw a scoreless inning using all of his pitches in his normal style and feel very healthy when he's done. That would be my wish list. You got one?
I want to see Mojica. You know, and I know you just said that, and I'm with you.
So that's
to me, that's very important.
That's more important than the 200 hit for Carpenter. I'd like them both.
Can I get greedy? I want both.
Yeah.
I wonder if Matt Carpenter gets hit number 200, does he sit for the remainder of this game? And then going into tomorrow, Matt Holliday's at an even 300 with his average. How the Cardinals approach that start tomorrow. Pitch was up, hit down the left field line, and out of play. 2-2 on John Jay.
And you wonder whether it will make a difference if the Cardinals are able to win here today and Atlanta loses tonight. Let's just say that puts the Cardinals a game better than Atlanta. Now all of a sudden that best record in the National League, maybe it's a little more appealing and it changes the way you do things tomorrow.
Jay lines out to short, and Castro. So what you're telling me here, Rick, is that the situation is fluid.
It's fluid. That's the word we keep hearing, isn't it? Out of the Cardinal camp.
I still think, you know, not going out on a limb here, but home field advantage is so important, in particular with this team. Number one, collectively how they play here at home, but with a young starting staff with a couple of guys that could really set the tone in a series at home as opposed to what they do on the road. Those splits don't lie. And the Cardinals, you look at Shelby Miller, you look at Lance Lynn, Michael Wacha. The numbers at home are eye-popping.
The good news on that subject is the Cardinals have already caught and passed the Dodgers.
Robinson flies out to left center field. And so that would mean,
assuming that you're playing the Dodgers in round one, which would mean the Braves finish with a better record, you end up playing the Dodgers, and you're going to play more games here at Busch Stadium, so that split will help you. Because the other split you have to deal with the Dodgers, Dan, is the fact you're going to have to face 3 out of 5 left-handers, good ones, if that series goes 5 games. You'll see Kershaw, you'll have to face Ryu, and Kershaw again.
And oh, by the way, they can mix in this guy, Zach Greinke, who's pretty tough.
3 starters with an ERA under 3.
And that's hit out of play. 0-2 on Adams with the shift on. And a strikeout of Adams. So Villanueva has come in, calm things down. We are through 4, and St. Louis has a 6-run lead. give you a home field advantage and an extraordinary Cardinals baseball experience. Reservations and info at 421-1776 or visit HiltonSt.Louis.com. Head and shoulders with package as we jump to the 5th. Adam Wainwright here this afternoon, Rick. And he's been sharp. 4 strikeouts this afternoon. Lake, Rizzo, Navarro, and Murphy. The strikeouts, the head and shoulders with package. Bogusevic, Barney, pitcher spot due up. A 6-0 St. Louis lead. The cutter misses in. Al has rejoined us along with Al Raboski. Rick Horton, I'm Dan McLaughlin. 2 balls and no strikes. Texas over the Angels 7-4 today. Toronto over Tampa Bay in a key game 7-2. Cleveland 5-1, top of the 7th in their game, and Pittsburgh has already taken 2, the first 2 of their series with Cincinnati, so they earn home field for the 1 game between those 2 teams.
Which one of you 2 are managing this game?
We're sharing it.
Sharing it?
You have some thoughts?
Well, I just thought.
Popped up into left field. Adrian Chambers, 1 away.
If you allow Adam to keep on going, he could have the most shutouts in the National League. He would pad his already lead in complete games. He would tie the National League lead in wins. He's already sewed up the most innings by any National League pitcher. But is that pitching too much?
I would be less concerned about the shutout and the complete game.
Don't get paid for that anymore, do you?
No, and the win could still happen. Let him go 5 or 6. 6, I would say, in terms of number of pitches. Seems to be free and easy, Dan. Didn't seem to be laboring at all today, and I think that's part of the issue. We talk about it all year, but the pitch count is more than just the number. It's how well is the pitcher doing? How's his motion? I'd say Wainwright's pretty good right now.
Yeah, 80 pitches, get him out of there. I want to see Mojica, who apparently will make the postseason roster, but his role is still not defined. Hyundai replay.
If strikeout for Adam tonight, and that just adds, that's 219, a new career high for him. And you see the good ratio, but you're right, some guy can throw 50 pitches and just labor through them, and somebody else throws 125 and it's a breeze.
I think most people believe it's Kershaw to win the Cy Young Award, so it's not like it's a situation where a milestone would get him to that magical award as he makes the play. Pretty free and easy that inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Cubbies. today with Pat Paris. Thank you, Pat. Poor Yachty. He's getting beat up.
You know, he's starting to get the idea. It's like, okay, I'm going to hang this up, but there's something wrong with this. Maybe I need to turn it the other way around. Ask your sister. She'll help you.
Mom's just happy because they're occupied with something. So she can watch the game for a little while. All right, let's try this way. Hold on.
Teamwork.
Tony Cruz will be the pinch hitter for Yadier Molina.
That's
2
funny.
for 2. It was Yadi's day with a pair of RBIs to get to 80 this year. First pitch to Tony Cruz is taken for a ball upstairs. Ooh, now he's got the chair.
Oh, he's thinking.
Okay, if I get that like that.
Future engineer. Oops. Rip it. Mom's purse. That'll help.
Give him some credit.
Bright little guy, huh, Al?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, here comes his sister, realizing her backpack's been used. 2-0 pitch.
Warning, warning.
Yeah.
Send that guy to Washington. Maybe he could straighten him out.
Two 2-1 to Cruz. Foul back.
I like the way he thinks.
A check swing did not go. 3-2 on Tony Cruz. Once again has had a pretty good year as a backup to Yadier Molina, as we talked about a number of times. Yadi's backup, rarely if ever do you get in. A stretch of games though, and Molina was on the DL and Tony stepped up. 3-2 pitch. Swings through a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, then strikes out.
Kind of a shame that Tony Cruz got hurt in the midst of that stretch. When Yanni got hurt, he would have had more at-bats. Probably would have been better for his development, but he has done a nice job of filling in, as you said. And you don't really miss, well, you do miss something on the defensive side, but he certainly is a very fine receiver and does a nice job behind the plate. The pitchers like it.
Here's Descalso. A season that started honoring Stan the Man. The Cardinals wearing that patch all season long on the left sleeve near the shoulder. The fly ball lifted out to left field. Junior Lake, 2 away. Take a look at the Charter high-speed pitch. Bueno is hit 93. Villanueva in relief 90. You know, the family of Stan Musial went through his belongings and found an unbelievable amount of items that they had never seen before. And they're actually going to put some of the items up for auction. One of those was a letter from Branch Rickey, another one from Ty Cobb, handwritten to Stan. They found Stan's personal diary in which he talks about his approach with certain pitchers of the era. They had no idea that he did these things. There was a ball sign when he was with the Rochester Red Wings 1941 signed by Babe Ruth, who was doing an exhibition through the minor leagues, and they said that those two found each other and had a chance to visit and connect. But so many of the balls in unique items, and it's at HA.com. Do yourself a favor and take a look at some of those items. HA.com, and you'll see a walk through memory lane like none other. Hit to the right side, and Cosma is retired. The great Stan the Man. 6-0 Cardinals. (23-3) the last 4 games. Fewest wins post All-Star break, and the Cubs 24-43 in 2013 here in the second half. It should be a very interesting 48 hours coming up for the Chicago Cubs. Dale Swaim and his staff all signed through next season, but a lot of talk that he may not return next year. There's been talk about potentially Joe Girardi hitting the open market. Girardi, a guy from that area, his family from that area. And then if he becomes available, the Cubs may want to try to grab him. There is something about being the guy that wins in Chicago, or at least the potential of winning, that lures many great people to that city.
Many have tried it.
You bet.
You know, the one thing too, Dan, and when you look at the Cubs ball club, there's nobody that really excites you. You know, of the young players that have come up here, there's really nobody that you can say, okay, that's going to be part of their, you know, I mean, they're hoping Castro and Rizzo and some of the others, but think about the guys that called up from AAA. There's nobody that you really see there. And you got some young talent, but it's still a couple of years away.
3-1.
And you know, it's not fair when you say you're in a 5-year rebuilding program and then you let somebody go a couple of years into it.
Al, you and I were talking earlier. You can give GMs the latitude to cut players or to trade them away and say, hey, we're going to start from the very bottom and build it up. But you look at Houston, to an extent, Chicago. Here's a 3-2 pitch to Castro, and a fly ball lifted out to deep right. Robinson, though, with room, and he makes the catch. If the cupboard is completely bare and you don't have some type of veteran or guys that have been on winning teams or situations, it's awfully tough in any sport to see people go completely bare and say, okay, we're starting from scratch. Here's the formula. This is how we're going to win.
And you kind of touched on a little bit. One of the guys they did have was you know, Kevin Gregg. You got to have a veteran closer because you're not going to have a lot of leads, but when you have one, you better close it out and be a double switch.
Let's listen to the ovation for Adam Wainwright when we head to break. You know it's going to be a big one. 6th inning. Our best guess would be that pitch limit, pitch count. We're looking hard at that. That's 70 to 75 pitches, and he'll turn it over to hard-throwing lefty Sam Freeman, and our Chevy called to the pen.
Another guy you like to see. He's been a hard-throwing left-hander out of the bullpen. The ERA is good and much more composed than we saw him a year ago. Really has an outstanding changeup, but that's something you'd say about most of these young Cardinal flamethrowers. Breaking pitch has improved. Colton Wong will take over at second base. Matt Carpenter moves from second to third. And the pitcher will bat in Daniel Descalzo's place.
And another guy that's going to be pitching for his spot in a playoff roster, I would assume.
Not enough spots, too many good arms.
It's a nice problem, but you're absolutely right.
There will be only 8 pitchers in the National League finishing with an ERA below 3, and Wainwright now is one of the 8. ERA at 2.94 as he finishes up his year.
And Wainwright will get a lot of consideration for the Cy Young. I wouldn't say he's a favorite going in, but he would have to. I wouldn't be surprised if he became the runner-up.
0-2 on Junior Lake with 1 out, nobody on, and time is called.
Jordan Zimmerman will get some votes to be sure. Maybe Kimbrel.
50 saved last night.
Cardinals hold on this game. Adam wins his 19th, and that would tie Zimmerman for the National League lead. He has innings pitched. He has complete games. He has shutouts.
Dusty Baker after the game today said Cueto's going Tuesday. Leto's arm is barking, and we're hoping to give him a couple of extra days to be ready for Atlanta.
Optimistic. Did he say ready for Atlanta, we hope?
Just said Atlanta.
Just named who he felt. So kind of, if you want to use that St. Louis Cardinals as motivation, so be it.
So Wainwright finishes the season 241 innings and 2/3. That ties him with Chris Carpenter's 2005 total for the most by a Cardinal since 1990. Five and a third, 2 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Cardinals foul.
Cardinals, by the way, guys, have given up 4 runs in total in this homestand so far. Pitching's been outstanding. Waka, Miller, Wainwright today. Lance Lynn yesterday. And pitching's just been phenomenal.
A 2-2 pitch. Spoiled again. Watch out. Right over the Cardinal dugout. I'll ask both of you, where does Sam Freeman fit in the playoff picture?
Still up in the air. You need 3 relievers. You'd have to think that veteran Randy Shope would have to be there. And you know Segrist is there.
That's why I'm asking. What do you think, Rick?
Well, I would prefer to have 3 left-handers in the bullpen myself. I think in playoffs, whether or not you've got the Dodgers or the Reds or whoever it might be, you just tend to go to your bullpen quicker, and you tend to want to have maybe 3 different situational times that might come up in the course of a game where you want a left-hander. Now, you do have Mojica, who is very strong against left-handers when he's right, and you could consider him your 3rd lefty, but I think in general, I think it's a weapon if you've got 3 lefties.
Interesting point, because you don't think about Mojica in terms of being a potential 3rd lefty, if you will.
But he's certainly shown that.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to find out, you'd think, more today if not tomorrow, just how he feels and where the arm is. Mentally, he says he's in a good spot. Came in last night, only threw one pitch and got a pop-up.
Do all 5 of your starters make it? When we're taking one, we're putting him in the bullpen, right?
In my book, you do. They're not asking me, Al, as we know.
I count we got 8 relievers then.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Rizzo. Fly ball lifted into left center. Jay wants it. Makes the catch. 2 away. What's on tap? It's the final game of the regular season. We'll have it for you tomorrow. Budweiser What's on Tap will come your way at 12:30. And Jake Westbrook surprising many, including us, getting that start tomorrow. And his record at home, 5-1. Remember how he started this year? Didn't strike out anybody. Didn't walk anybody. Didn't give up home runs. And was sensational here at his home ballpark. And he'll get that call tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow Jake will turn 36.
Yeah, birthday boy.
Hope it's a good one.
One-0 pitch to Navarro. Popped up. Colton Wong makes the catch. Midway through 6 zip St. Louis. Tomorrow, Mobile on the run. The last start for Jake Westbrook was back on August 21st. 4 2/3. That wound up being a win over Milwaukee. His last appearance was on September 6th, ending in a third. against the Pittsburgh Pirates on the 6th of September. Zach Roskup, our Chevy, called to the pen, and a lefty is in. And the Cubs like what they've seen out of him. Primarily, it's been James Russell this year coming out of the pen as their lone lefty, but they've added a couple out there.
He needed a little help. In fact, he was overworked at one point. Russell was, but he's been I'd say as good a performer as the Cubs had, consistent wise, all season long. Russell, and now he's got some lefties in September to help him out.
Here's Adrian Chambers. Chambers started the game in right field and has moved to left. He had one of the biggest hits this season. Extra innings against Pittsburgh as he slapped a game winner to left in extra innings. Game that Marte dropped a routine fly in left field. Descalso wound up at second base. He came around to score, and the Cardinals would win it in extra innings.
Is it too late to add to my wish list?
Never.
Santa?
Go right ahead.
Well, you know my other ones, right?
Yes.
Carpenter?
Yep.
Got to get that hit. We don't want to see Mojica pitch well. I'd like to see Audrey Perez get a hit, or at least an at-bat.
First major league hit.
And at bat when he has it.
We've seen him in a game, but not at the plate, and would love to see that.
He hit .210 between AA and AAA, but he did catch 2 innings up here and became the 20th rookie used by the Cardinals this year.
When the Cardinals won in 2006, 2011, 1982, they did not have as many wins as this team has put together this regular season. It was 92 was the highest. As Chambers fouls it back. Cardinals picked up 2 runs in the first, 4 in the third. 8 hits on the day. They've out-hit the Cubs 8-2. On the outside corner, strikeout of Chambers.
Roskup came to the Cubs from Tampa Bay. It's part of the 8-player deal that brought Matt Garza to Chicago back in January 8th of 2011.
Here's Colton Wong.
Not a big guy, lefty from the state of Oregon, small town. Makes me think of my old roommate, Ken Daly. Not a big lefty, but man, was he good. From Oregon.
St. Louis Blues hockey returns to Fox Sports Midwest. You can check stlouisblues.com for the full schedule. Don't forget, the Blues open the season. The Predators will be the opponent. October 3rd, you'll see the action on Fox Sports Midwest. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blues hockey back on the air. Here's Carpenter, hitless today. Here's one that was on your wish list, trying to get him to 200.
I'm ready.
I didn't want to keep him above 320. He's had such a consistent season, just been a revelation, both defensively and offensively. But he's put himself on the map with his offense. Maybe the first time we're seeing him press a little bit.
Could be. We saw him tired once.
Yes.
On a road trip, and he'd played a number of days in a row, and you could just see him kind of wearing down. And then he rested him a bit and come back with a vengeance.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Carpenter. A 2-2 pitch.
All right, how about a little line drive over the shortstop's head? Take it the other way, 3-2 pitch. Good 2-strike hitter against the lefty.
He'll take the walk.
Yeah, but I won't.
You want the hit.
That was not on my wish list, Dan.
I know it. You've been a bad boy, I guess. Santa's watching.
Get some coal instead.
That'll be it for Carpenter, so they'll replace him with a pinch runner. And Brock Peterson will be a pinch hitter. He's hitting for Jay. Ryan Jackson pinch running for Carpenter. Two outs, runner at first. Pitch to Peterson. Brock hitting .080.
New role for him at the big league level as a pinch hitter, and it just hasn't really suited him yet. Colton Wong, you could add to that list. Guys that aren't used to being pinch hitters, but what Peterson, everybody hoped he'd bring is the power potential off the bench. Home run hitter in AAA. We just haven't seen that swing yet materialize in the pinch hit at bats.
Yeah, he's 0 for his last 15, and I'm not sure if we've seen him hit the ball to the outfield. Got a couple ground ball outs that produced a couple RBIs. And that is something that really is going to be lacking on the Cardinal bench. If Alan Craig is not available and Matt Adams is playing, which will be the case, you don't really have a threat to come off that bench unless Peterson starts doing it, and he hasn't done it yet.
Strikeout of Brock Peterson. 6-0 St. Louis as we head to the 7th here at Busch Stadium. 48%. All St. Louis here today, 6-run lead. Sam Freeman got final 2 outs last inning.
One of the things you get from that Twitter poll is that Cardinal fans really have appreciated what Joe Kelly did at a time where they really needed him. Ryan Jackson takes over at third base, not his natural position.
Brock Peterson goes to left field, and you got Chambers goes back to right field, and Shane Robinson is now in center field.
One ball, one strike. Nate Shearholtz at the plate. 6-0 St. Louis.
Manus warming up for the Cardinals. Grimm for the Cubs.
One and two the count. Two and two the count. Longtime director Tom Mee. Another great year by Tom, and our producer today, Mike Helling, Dan Hyatt, Danny Martinez, Keith Olbermann, and his sidekick Keith O'Brien. Popped up into shallow left. Brian McCann, who is a guy that produces our games, also you'll find him working tirelessly. Many of the features, the tape room. Very talented guy. All these folks have done such a wonderful job putting Cardinals baseball on the air day in and day out.
The cameramen and women who provide all the great shots for us. Close-ups of the players, and I love kind of the addition this year of some of those super slow motion shots that we were able to add.
It's Dawn Maxwell. And behind her, acting like she's not on camera, but knowing she is, Kim Eberly.
T. West is back there somewhere, is he not? Hiding?
He is. We just woke him up.
T gets all those great shots right from the mound, seconds before the pitcher takes the mound.
And apparently after that, he comes up here and takes a nap. Tony West, one of the best. 1-2 pitch here to Donnie Murphy. Freeman at 23 pitches, and a 2-2 is on its way. Donnie Murphy letting his emotions get to the best of him and making sure we all knew about it.
Thanks,
Crowd of over 42,000 here.
Thanks, Donnie.
Most of them heard.
Yeah, we really needed to hear that, Donnie. That's great. We apologize. For fans that may have picked up his audio there, but we're apologizing on behalf of Donnie Murphy.
Right now, this lineup has the feeling of spring training for the St. Louis Cardinals.
You guys want to go to the beach after the game?
Why not? You guys, I mean, it's time for you to get ready and get geared up for the postseason. Working the post-game shows on Fox Sports Midwest. Pat will be a part of those, and Jim Hayes.
No question it will be electric here at the ballpark. It always is. Playoffs just bring out a new kind of higher level sense of electricity here at the ballpark. I know we'll feel it.
Indians win their game, and so with that, they have at least clinched a share of the wild card spot, and they are in. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Bogusevic fouls it. So Tampa Bay and Texas, those two teams are tied, and they don't go by head-to-head. So they would have essentially a one-game playoff to get into the one-game playoff and then advance to the division series.
And you could imagine that would really, you've been having to use your best pitchers down the stretch here. Then you get the playoff before the playoff. Trying to penalize those clubs and do it the right way.
CBS MLB Network starting October 1st. Justin Grimm into the ball game for the Chicago Cubs.
Like the looks of that.
The one that says National League champions, and then the one that says World Series champions. That's when I'll get excited.
Oh, Al, you were excited last night.
Absolutely.
But
Sure.
Chevy call of the pen, it's Justin Grimm.
Even higher levels of Al Hrabosky excitement. By the way, if they get another world championship, where exactly do you put the new flag? How do you do that? Would you have to kind of put them closer together?
I think you redo that framework up there. That'd be a nice problem, and one that I'm sure they would figure out real quick.
gorgeous, isn't it?
Put one more up there, you need to put two.
Robinson a base hit out to left, and that's how we start the home half of the 7th. So right now in this lineup, it's Ryan Jackson and Peterson, Robinson, Adams still in there, an original starter, Cruz, Freeman spot, Cosma, Chambers, and Wong.
Talk about the Cardinals bench and the makeup of the bench in the playoffs and not having power. Really, your number one pinch hitter is going to be Shane Robinson. He was last year. He's got a lot of pinch hits this year. The number one pinch hitter is at the plate right now, and he's kind of busy playing every day and should be.
What a job he has done.
8 home runs this month. Since Alan Craig's gone out, and that ties for 3rd most in the major leagues this month. Grimm was acquired by the Cubs from the Texas as part of the Matt Garza trade this year, July 22nd. The Rangers 7-7, 6.37 ERA in 17 starts.
Wondered whether Matt Adams would be a player that the Cardinals would want to rest a bit too the last couple of days, only because of that elbow issue, but really doesn't seem to be bothering him. About a week ago he had that problem with his right elbow, and he's got that brace. Looks like he's going to play a hard 9 tonight. Cardinals don't have a lot of other choices though to play first base. You think about it. I mean, you could put a body over there, but not necessarily a first baseman.
A 2-2. You think about Molina, who's done that, but you're not going to take him from behind the plate. He's too valuable there, clearly. Good point.
Like I said, you know, with the first postseason game isn't going to be until Thursday. There's going to be plenty of rest for these guys. I don't want any more.
Fly ball lifted into shallow left center, and the catch is made. Bogusevic. Back to the bat goes Robinson, and there's one out.
Might start Tony Cruz tomorrow with Westbrook and have Yachty play first base. Mike doing a nice gesture, trying to get pretty much trying to deplete his bench and get as many of these guys in as possible, just to sharpen them up and also let the fans acknowledge what their fine season.
And the rain is held off.
That it has.
There you go. There you go, Jinx.
It's something we had been concerned about.
Don't talk about no hitters, but you talk about the rain.
But through 5 innings, I'm not worried about it. The 4th inning, I wouldn't want to talk about it. But after 5.
Oh, so you wouldn't want to sit here for 3 or 4 hours?
Where else would I rather be? Got nothing else to do.
Let me tell you.
You got a date?
Oh, I do.
Okay. I'll sit here with Dan then. You can text us.
Nikki's in town. Nikki came in town for a wedding shower. Wedding's coming up.
That's why you don't want the shower.
That's right.
The other kind of
shower.
The
other kind of shower.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Cruz. Mariano Rivera has told reporters tonight that he is done. He won't play again. And he said he's got nothing left in the tank, so no more appearances for Rivera. 1-2 pitch.
Aha.
There it is.
Aha.
Axford is warming up.
And that's waved at by Cruz. And here is Perez.
First major league at bat. Caught a couple innings and became the 20th rookie to be used, but doesn't have an at bat yet.
From Salana Grande de Palenque, Dominican Republic. Is that really?
What part of the Dominican?
I can't say it again without the graphic. Never heard of that place.
Probably up north.
I can't believe we actually worked to fit that on. Love to see him get a hit. There it is, Dan.
Got it. Dominican Republic.
Close enough.
Here's the 0-1.
Got to celebrate last night. He's a division champ. First major league at bat the following afternoon.
And people ask us a lot about who gets rings when a team wins. You make an appearance, you're getting a ring.
No question.
A few years ago, it was Matt Carpenter. Didn't make many appearances in 2011. Few and far between. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Perez.
Perez didn't hit much this year, but apparently pretty good receiver, ability to throw out runners.
Saw him a lot in spring training. Very good defensively. Club is high on him and what he does behind the plate. 2-2.
Dan, if you remember when Yachty first came up, and we wondered what kind of offensive player he was going to be.
I don't think anybody envisioned this. At least we did.
Maybe Albert. Worked with him all the time, and once he settled in on one stance, good things started happening for him.
Two. Late with the swing. 6-0 St. Louis, and we played 7 here at Busch Stadium. will get the 8th. We'll see if Mojica gets the 9th. The Cardinals shut out the Cubs. Game 1 of the series, 7-0. They have a 6-0 lead here in game number 2. Interesting, there's been 326 shutouts across Major League Baseball this year. 3 shy of the all-time record, 329, which was set back in 2010. Let's get a look at Carlos Beltran, who was out of the lineup and dealing with a sore wrist. Nothing serious.
And you would think a little nagging thing like that, get a lot of treatment over the next week and should be fine for Thursday night. On Thursday day, whichever.
Whenever it is.
Not sure who our opponent is going to be yet.
We'll all get sorted out by the end of the day tomorrow.
I guess it could be Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, or the Dodgers.
And it depends on what Atlanta does tonight, what happens tomorrow. Really amazing that the Cardinals could actually finish with the best record in the National League.
They had it for, what, about 4 months.
And they might have it again for about 2 innings, since the Braves are playing later.
And I guess Mike Matheny is really not a priority to him. It's just keep the pedal to the metal, and whoever you're playing, just play that opponent as hard as you possibly can, and don't worry about who it is. Just have yourself mentally and physically prepared to play.
Certainly something that fans are interested in, the discussion about who's going to play who, when, and I think that's legitimate kind of conversation, but I think there is something about the player maybe over focusing on that. Just think about what you do.
And I think it's where you don't want to say we got to play this opponent, we got to play this opponent, and almost sound like you're fearing the other guy, and then you end up getting the other guy.
You say you'd rather play X than Y, you're going to make X mad. By the way, is there a happier St. Louis Cardinal than the guy on the mound right now? I mean, everybody's happy to be a Cardinal, but think about his spin this year.
On a personal level, he talked about needing a change of scenery, and he comes to a winning club.
You get a veteran who's experienced in closing games. Still throwing the ball hard, 97.
Change of scenery, but an upgraded change of scenery.
He'll be packing his bags tonight. Now he might be packing them a week from tonight.
2 outs.
And meaning to go play elsewhere for the 3rd game of the playoffs.
There's Starlin Castro.
I think everybody can sit down except for the right fielder.
That's the only player he's used so far. 3 fly balls to right.
Randy Schote is warming up.
We may have to wait till tomorrow to see Mojica.
Right center, and just out of the reach of Robinson. Castro will trot in with a double.
That's the first hit since the 4th inning for the Cubs. All up in the zone and tomahawks it just beyond the reach of Shane Robinson. He slip around the bag and kind of jumping for that bag. Good way to turn an ankle, isn't it?
Talent's starting to come out a bit. He was really struggling. Last time we saw the Cubs in Chicago, they were some kind of down on their shortstop. They thought.
And their first baseman.
Yeah, both of them.
Guys they locked up to be part of the centerpiece.
Junior Lake 0 for 2 and the walk back in the 6th. Axford's an intriguing guy when you think about postseason too, where he would fit in. Got the 95 plus, little experience.
But kind of get the feeling that he would be on that roster.
Used to say when a guy had 95 plus, you would be kind of setting him apart as something different than the other guys who are all 95 plus out there as well.
But now I think you see these flamethrowers coming out of every, bullpen.
2-2 with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Axford trying to make sure the Cubs stay off the board this afternoon. 6-0 St. Louis. Right down the middle, strikeout of Lake. Bottom of the 8th rolls in when we come back to Busch.
Brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Been all St. Louis here this afternoon. Game number 161. Cardinals have played very well on this homestand. 6-0 lead. And we've had plenty of these, but another Chevy call to the bullpen. This time the right-hander Blake Parker will pitch the 8th, as the Cardinals are going to try to close this one out for Adam Wainwright, who is the pitcher of record, looking for victory number 19 here this afternoon.
Parker pitched an inning last night.
And Cosma follows the first pitch straight back. There's Edward Mujica, who will indeed have the 9th inning for the Cardinals. We saw Choate getting loose. We've wanted to see Mujica, and we will.
And Mujica will face a lefty, switch hitter, and lefty.
Pete Cosma 1 for 3 this afternoon. Takes a curveball for a strike. Cosma doubled and scored in the Cardinals' third inning when they picked up 4 runs on just 3 hits in the inning. 3 walks to go along with it. Edwin Jackson did not have a good start, and he left with right lat discomfort, we have been told. And Jackson went just 2 2/3 innings, gave up 8 Cardinal hits and 6 runs.
This Cub pitcher, Parker, holds the Iowa Cubs record, franchise record for career saves at 41. Been up to the big leagues since June the 1st.
Off the glove of Parker. This is going to be trouble. He hurries and not in time to get the speedy Pete Cosma, who now has a 2-hit afternoon. Nice to have Pete Cosma get a break, isn't it?
Yeah, Pete tries so hard, and defensively he's outstanding. Doesn't take his offensive problems into the field, and we've seen a couple times where a little infield hit has got him on a little jump start and go off with a little streak. Hopefully that'll happen now.
Adrian Chambers now. Can't leave you two alone for a second.
Got a base runner. What else do you want?
So the bickering.
Oh, that was that you came back.
Good one, Al.
Thank you.
You have no idea what we were saying about you. You didn't TiVo this, did you? Your friends will tell you. You know everybody in town.
Uh-huh.
He thought he pulled a Rizzuto.
Yeah, tell that story, Al, what he used to do.
Well, Phil Rizzuto would, not the 7th inning, he'd tell his broadcast partner he's going to the bathroom. And all of a sudden he kind of noticed he never came back. What he would do is leave the 7th inning, beat the traffic home. So started doing that, and they'd have to grab the belt buckle and no, sit down, Scooter. But just want to beat the traffic home.
What an entertainer he was.
You got a chance to hear.
Oh, I heard him all the time growing up in New York, listening to him tell stories, and he was not afraid to say it like it was, with some style.
Nissan drive of the game. Matt Holliday, home run. His average now at 300. Nissan drive of the game.
You're not going to believe this, Al. When I tell you this, you're going to say this didn't happen. But I'm going to tell you it did. I was on a team at the big league level. I'm not going to say what team it was, but it was in the city of Chicago, and it was in the American League. And on that team, we played a game where one of our coaches took a shower and went home to beat the traffic in the 8th inning of a game.
Let's see. Now you're playing for Whitey Herzog.
No.
I mean, not Whitey, but you were playing for Tony.
Nope.
No way. Could you imagine that happening?
Oh, I couldn't. That's what I was trying to think.
It was Jim Fregosi was the manager.
All right.
And that's as far as I'm going with that. And by the way, I'll be back in a minute, guys.
I get the feeling we'll see you on the post game.
Or in the parking lot, one of the two.
Now, there have been times when I think just about every broadcaster has wanted to get up and leave, and not that they didn't appreciate the final out, but
I just can't wait to see Pat Paris. We're going to have a good old time.
But on a serious note, we moved this game from a night game to a day game because of the threat of severe weather, and so we hope everyone will be safe this evening and come out and celebrate the final game of the year tomorrow.
Fouled back by Colton Wong.
Cardinals have 2 hits and a walk since the 4th inning. The Cubbies have a walk and 1 hit since the 4th inning.
The 2-2. Underhanded to Rizzo for the out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Ryan Jackson, in some ways kind of a forgotten man this season, and a terrific first half. Tailed off offensively in the second half. Got 1 start, didn't go all that well, and really hasn't seen the field since.
He was 350 plus for a very long time into this season. He was really good on the offensive side, and at one time was ahead of Pete Kozma on the depth chart at shortstop.
Dan knows what I'm going to say, but it was very weird that last year when he made his major league debut, he'd been playing shortstop at AAA, and he started at second base in Philadelphia, and a couple balls ate him up. And
Al, remember that start was Jake Westbrook, so ground ball pitcher.
Yeah, he did hit .331 this year against left-handed pitching, but it's just at this level.
I have a feeling if he played regularly, he'd be fine. I don't know that he'd be great, but I think he would get over that little hump. And
which position player?
I think he's more of a shortstop personally, and I think he believes he is. Now the Cardinals would say probably he's more of a second baseman. He's kind of played both, and at one point in Kozma's development and his, they actually flip-flopped him.
Right.
Not because they weren't doing the job, they just wanted him to become more of a complete player.
See if you think this. Does he become this year's Tyler Green?
At this point. And we always said about Tyler, he just needed a chance, and he got plenty of them.
And change of scenery, and it didn't work. A couple change of scenery for him. No doubt he had talent.
3-1 pitch. Jackson hits a fly ball into right center. And that sends us to the 9th. Chief Edward Mejica coming on when we come back.
The 9th in St. Louis. Coming up after the game on the post-game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Pat Paris and Rick Horton will do the honors. Adam Wainwright very sharp in his bid for win number 19. They'll break down his afternoon. We'll have Cardinal player reaction plus Mike Matheny's post-game comments as well. Edward Mejica on to pitch as we head back to the booth And Dan, Rick, Al, and whoever else is up there, guys.
All right. Thank you, Jim. And I think this is an interesting and a big outing for Edward Mujica, even though it's a 6-0 game in a ball game that has been all St. Louis. But in terms of postseason, so Chevy called to the pen for Mujica. You got to see where he's at.
If he's physically sound, and remember, the only question he had is 2 weeks ago he had that little shoulder problem, a little knot in the back of his shoulder. But he needed some rest. He's gotten some rest. And in my mind, if he's physically healthy, he's got to be on your postseason roster. You know, with the 37 saves, he wouldn't be in this position without his contribution.
No question about that. It's hit out to deep right. Maybe we're getting some answers. Rizzo, a home run. Cardinals were hoping for back-to-back shutouts. Won't happen.
It won't happen, and Mujica's just going to have to put that aside and just go out and get the next 3 hitters out. See the pitch diving, but you know, left-handed hitter's a low ball hitter. He catches that one and hits his 23rd home run and 80th RBI.
Fastball and a strike. So solo shot by Rizzo makes it a 6-1 St. Louis lead here in the top of the 9th.
I believe this is not Navarro, but Boscam.
That's correct.
Backup catcher. Castillo went under the knife for knee surgery. Their number 1 catcher.
Yeah, the Pirates have produced 40 games in which they have allowed no more than 1 run. 40. Cardinals have a 1-run game that they've allowed here today. And that to me is an amazing indication of just how good their pitching has been this year when you talk about Pittsburgh.
But it's a whole new ball game. Damn, you get postseason play. I wonder if some of those arms are, going to hold up. Been a long time since they've been in postseason play. Let's go back to the Bonds and Van Slyke and Bonilla.
Line shot into right center. This is trouble. That ball will get down. You wonder if Mike Matheny can get somebody up and throwing. That's the last thing he wanted to do. But Mujica, they're being flawless essentially in the first half and good portion of the second half. Not finishing the way that the Cardinals nor he wanted to.
And they'll get the bullpen active, but you know Mike Matheny and Derek Lilliquist, balls just not diving right there in the middle of the plate. You know, bell tie. Manus will start throwing.
First half 2.20 ERA in the 41 games and over 3 now here in the second half. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Nate Schierholtz. Ground ball. Mujica looks back at the runner. One away.
Dan, I think we could even just pinpoint it just to the last couple weeks. You know, not even the second half.
Wainwright, the player of the game, trying to pick up win number 19 here today. Budweiser, player of the game.
Now that he's got an out, maybe he'll feel a little more comfortable. Schote is up also in the bullpen.
Now, last pitch had the good sinking action that we become accustomed to seeing with Edward Mujica. There's Choate. And Manus getting loose.
And it all started, his problem started when he got a knot in the back of his shoulder. Just can't get loose, and doesn't allow you maybe to reach back and pull down on the ball or get that movement, which is so critical.
Here's the 0-2. A check swing. Did not go. Donnie Murphy at the plate. 1-2 the count. In the dirt. 2-2. Fly ball lifted out to deep center over Robinson, and a ground rule double.
.23rd double for Murphy. He's batting .179 with runners in scoring position, and this is a walk that Mike Matheny did not want to take.
No go with the lefty Randy Choate. You have to wonder, an outing like this, what has it done for the immediate future of Edward Mujica?
Oh, we got to be a realist.
.63 appearances this season for the Cardinal lefty. Very good ERA. Darnell McDonald will be the hitter. A 6-2 St. Louis lead with a runner at second base.
Donald hit a big home run earlier this week. Win the ball game. Help the Cardinals. was against Pittsburgh. 3-run home run in the 6th inning to break up a 1-1 tie. And the Cubs went on to win 4-2.
1 out runner at second. Pitch is taken for a strike. The Cardinals will have a very tough decision coming up on Edward Mujica. I don't think there's any doubt about it now.
I think you're right.
Choate off the mound, no play. A base hit in this 6-2 game. Brings in Darwin Barney. Runners at the corners.
Potential tying run is on the on deck circle. So Mike Matheny's going to go in, see if he brings in Seth Maness with a runner at first base, looking for the double play.
He's got Rosenthal up and throwing right now too. Oh, we didn't see this coming. A little more interesting down the stretch of this ball game. 6-2. St. Louis. Well, he's gotten double plays all season long. He'd love to get one right here and send us home.
Darwin Barney. See if this stat surprised you. He's hit into 21 double plays.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah, you think about a guy that hits the ball hard like a Holiday. Pujols a few years ago hit into a bunch. He's 1 for 6 off of Seth Maness. That stat surprising me too, that these guys have seen each other already 6 times.
It's the 66th appearance for Seth.
0-1 pitch.
There it is.
Unbelievable. How about a double play? Why not? The Cardinals have taken 2 and look for the sweep tomorrow. Unbelievable.
That's what he is, a ground ball monster, and he got that good sinker, and it worked one more time. And the Cardinals, they come up with another win, put a little pressure on Atlanta tonight, as the Cardinals pick up their 96th win. 96-65. Atlanta 95-65. And the Cardinals, they hopefully can still get home field advantage.
So our final 6-2. Wainwright, a 19-game winner here in 2013. The postgame show comes your way next.